All right, today we're breaking down a really interesting blueprint for building an online business, all powered by AI. It's a strategy that claims to lay out a direct path from square one to a pretty substantial monthly income. So let's jump in and see how it's supposed to work. So this whole thing kicks off with a really, really bold claim from the source material, making $3,000 every single day. I mean, do the math. That's over $1 million a year. It's the kind of number that just makes you stop and listen, and it's really the core promise of this entire system. Now, I know what you're thinking. A claim that big? It almost sounds too good to be true, right? How is that even possible, especially if you're just getting started with zero experience? Well, that's the big question, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack step by step. So here's the game plan. First, we'll get into the core mindset, which they call be a brain surgeon. Then we'll dive into the actual business model, something called skill arbitrage. After that, we'll look at the automated pitch they use to actually get clients. And finally, we'll crunch the numbers and see how this all scales up to financial freedom. All right, first things first, part one, be a brain surgeon. Now, this isn't just some catchy name. According to the source, this is the bedrock of the whole strategy, and it's all built on one thing, the power of specialization. Okay, so the big idea here is all about this simple but really powerful analogy. You got your general doctor, and you got your brain surgeon. One is a generalist who can help with a bunch of different things, but the other solves one very specific, very high-value problem. And when you specialize like that, you get higher demand, way less competition, and of course, you get to charge a lot more. And the numbers really back this up. I mean, just look at the difference. The income of a general doctor is totally dwarfed by what a brain surgeon makes. The takeaway is crystal clear. If you want to make more money, you have to specialize. In this model, you're not trying to be a generalist, you're aiming to be the brain surgeon for your specific industry. Okay, so how do you actually find your brain surgeon specialty? Well, the first step is actually pretty cool. You just go to an AI tool, something like Claude, and you tell it what you're passionate about. Let's say it's fitness, music, and taking pictures. You then ask it to find a high-value niche for you. And in this case, bam, it points you straight to personal trainers. And that leads us right into the core of the business model here in part two. It's called the skill arbitrage model. And honestly, this is the part that might mess with your head a little bit, because the big secret is you don't actually have to be the expert in whatever service you're selling. So what in the world is skill arbitrage? It's actually pretty simple. You sell a high-value service to a client, right? Then you turn around and hire a real expert, a freelancer, to do all the work. Your whole job is to be the connector, the middleman. And your profit? It's that sweet, sweet difference between what the client pays you and what you pay the expert. Let's break down the money with a real example from the source. Step one. Your client pays you, let's say, $997 for a monthly service. Step two, you pay your expert team $500 to get the job done. That leaves you, in step three, with $497 of pure profit every single month for just connecting the dots. All right, so you've got your niche, you've got the model, but where do the clients come from? That brings us to part three, the automated pitch. This is all about how you find people and exactly what you say to them. The strategy lays out a whole toolkit for you. First, you use a lead finder tool, basically software that finds contact info for businesses, to build a list of potential clients. Second, to build trust, you use case studies from your expert team, the ones actually doing the work. And finally, you use a proven conversational script to reach out. So let's actually look at the script, which, by the way, can be sent automatically by AI. The opening line is so important because of what it's not. It's not salesy. It's super casual, it gives a compliment, and it ends with a simple question. It's designed to sound like a real person, not a robot. And that super casual, no-pressure opener, it works. It gets a simple, easy reply like, "Sure, man." And that's not just a response, it's an invitation. It's the green light you need to keep the conversation going and start digging into what their business actually needs. And this right here, this is the pivot. The script immediately flips from a casual chat to qualifying the lead by asking about their money goals. This question is so strategic. It's designed to uncover their pain points and turn this little chat into a serious business conversation. And boom, that's the final green light. Before you ever make an offer, the script makes sure they're serious. When they say something like, "Yeah, it's a priority," that's your signal. It confirms they're not just kicking tires, they're a motivated buyer who's actively looking for a solution. Look, getting one client is great, but the real magic is in scaling this thing. In part 4, we're going to look at the surprisingly simple math behind hitting that huge milestone, $10,000 a month. So let's start with that core number we talked about. Based on the earlier example, every single client you sign up is worth $497 in pure recurring profit every month. And the math to get to that $10,000 a month mark? It's actually pretty straightforward. To cross that finish line, you just need to get 21 clients. When you break a big, scary goal down like that, it suddenly feels a whole lot more achievable, doesn't it? And just like that, you hit the target. With 21 clients, you're looking at over $10,000 in profit. But seriously, the most important words here are monthly recurring. That is the entire secret sauce of this business model. And that is why recurring revenue is the holy grail here. It's predictable. You're not waking up on the first of the month back at zero. No, you're stacking clients, building on what you did the month before. This is what creates real stability, what the source calls business nirvana. True financial freedom, time freedom, all of it. It all boils down to this fantastic quote from the entrepreneur Alex Hormozi. It's not about how hard you row, it's about what boat you're in. The whole point is that choosing the right business model, getting in the right boat, is way more important than just working yourself to death in the wrong one. So that leaves one last question, really, for you to think about. After we've broken down this whole blueprint, from being a specialist to using skill arbitrage to scaling up with recurring revenue, the big question is this the model that changes the boat you're in?